all you honky-tonk drunks out there in the parking lot of WHBC. This is...
Or the hungover.
MotorMouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show with your host, Ray Guarino, his co-host and wingman and confidant from another planet, Joe D.
Yeah, you know, at the seventh or eighth planet. I forget which one it is.
And sitting in with us today is our good friend, Mike Manning Jr.
Hello.
Yeah, put that mic in front of your face, Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Go, Mike. Meet Mike.
Yeah, we're kind of doing a funky kind of drag race show today because we have a great guest, Janette Thornley, who's a Nitro riding Harley pilot, is going to be calling in.
Yeah, definitely not a rider, pilot.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna talk to her. Hopefully, if she's on schedule. You guys were doing some diagnostics in the parking lot today.
Yeah. I showed up and me in the toolbox. Decided to meet up with Mike's Crown Vic over here, and had a code for a EVAP, what they call a canister control solenoid. No, not the canister control solenoid, the purge solenoid. Uh-huh. And we did it was pretty simple stuff, right? Outside of the fact that we had 3 scanners and voltmeter and all data. And
well, let's get this straight. Well, first of all, people can get in touch with us. You can call 516-572-7440. Catch us on MotorMouthRadio.com, Performance Motorsports Network, or iHeartRadio. The problem was Mike got this new car. It's got all sorts of stuff going on with it. And when he went in to see his guy, they said to him,
"No sticker for you."
So he said, what am I going to do?
No sticker for you. Light is on. Sorry, I can't help you.
So I said,
give me $1,000 and maybe we talk.
Right. I said, you got to talk to Joe because he can fix this up right quick.
Yeah, we had a little chat.
And you had some success in the parking lot.
Yeah. Well, let's go right to the check engine light, even though you've got a few other issues there, Mike. You've got modules not talking to each other, and, generally speaking, it's kind of PO. Everybody's kind of mad at each other, but you had a code for the EVAP, what they call the canister control solenoid, or the the purge solenoid. And it's a simple electrical code, which means that the ECM couldn't see it. So we checked it and had power to it. I was like, okay, fine. And then we went to the other side of it and just grabbing a jumper wire just right to the battery negative. We can make the thing go thunk, thunk. So we know that the solenoid was good, even though it was new. And what did I say about new?
Yeah, Mike, you want to never, ever work.
So now we know at least that one works. So then at that point, we start, now we have to break out the all data, find what pin it goes to on the computer, and then we trace it back there.
Which means you got to take 3 steps over to your toolbox.
Yes.
This is like the repetition show today.
Yeah, right. It's all the catchphrases are coming out.
Right.
I'll pull up the diagram, find what pin on the computer there, back probe it there, and say, oh, well, there's voltage coming here. Then we command it with the scanner, and of course, it gave us the finger. And at which point, I'm like, oh, boy, here we go. And, because the voltage tells me that the wiring is probably okay.
Right.
Or at least it's hanging on by at least a couple, 3 strands. So then when you came in here to get things started, start to get things fired up, next I was like, I can't let go. That's the problem. That's why I came running in here at like 30 seconds, too.
That's why you have those big, sharp teeth.
I just can't let go. Once you get me started, it's hard to stop me. Uh-huh. As anybody who has watched me work knows. So I just took the wire right at the computer, and I touched ground with it, and we heard thunk. And we're like, okay, wiring's good, solenoid's good, power's good. ECM.
Uh-huh.
So now we start having a discussion about ECMs. And I'm like, okay, we got to get inside. And I says, let me try one more thing. So I pulled out a different scanner and did a little quick self-test with it. And all of a sudden, the thing on the meter shows that it's working. Ooh. Clear the code, start it up, bang, lights out. Go figure.
So it's Pat Travers. Boom, boom. Out go the lights.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That was it. So at least now you could have a sticker. You have to drive the car. You have to do the drive cycle. Yeah. But assuming the light stays out, you have you can now inspect the car. The other lights will not prevent you, like the airbag light and stuff like that.
It's emission stuff. So when he goes into the station, they will not say to him,
"Oh, baby, I'd love to stay here all day and help you with your petunias."
No sticker for you.
Or that.
I don't know, the petunia thing, that's happened a couple times, too. You never know what customers are going to have sticking out of their summer attire there, you know?
Oh, there you go.
Dogs, flowers, you never lizards, you never know. People,
right.
It's definitely a circus, you know? So,
absolutely.
But now it's just time for the drive cycle. We could look that up for you at some point.
I was going to ask if you'd done that already, because we've spoke of drive cycles many times on this show, and some of them are pretty arduous and pain in the neck to do.
Yes.
But some are not so bad.
Right, yeah. Ford actually isn't
EVAP
too bad.
Is pretty, but EVAPs are usually a little more involved from what I've seen than some of the others.
Yes, EVAP it usually takes time, because what happens is someday we're going to have to do a no sticker for you on EVAP. What happens is that everything has to be perfect because they don't want to fail it. And what you have to do is you have to wait for the car to cool off. It has to be idle in a certain amount of time, a certain amount of gas
level,
in the tank.
Right.
And,
levels, there's all sorts of stuff.
There's all kinds of things, you know, swinging the chicken over your head, you know, there's all kind of stuff. So
the guy comes out, checks your octane rating with a sling cyclometer. And, I know.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say sling blade for a second there, but
no, that's a different show.
But yeah, at this point, you know, maybe just drive it around a little highway, drive a little stop and go driving, you ought to be set. You have a scan tool that checks monitors?
Yes.
Okay, good. We'll
readiness.
Yes, the readiness. Yes, there you go. They call it readiness. I call it monitors. I call it get out of my face and go drive 50 miles.
Yeah. And this is a good warm up for you, Joe, because I know now you're nice and limber. And when you leave here, you'll be going out to join the New York City Triathlon today.
Right.
You're cutting in at like 34th Street.
I've got my tank top and my wetsuit ready to go, and
and the flippers.
Yeah, the flippers. Yeah,
the snorkel.
They won't let me have the snorkel though. I'm going to have to use 2 straws.
Okay,
one for each nostril.
Get the McDonald's shake straws. They're nice and wide. They're fat.
Yeah, right. Because I breathe kind of heavy,
right,
which makes phone conversations kind of awkward sometimes. But that's another story.
Exactly.
So, what have you been up to, Ray?
Me, I've been doing just normal stuff. I'm still in the middle of house projects. I got my car down to Mike's shop yesterday. I was able to get it on the lift, which I didn't think I was going to do, but I did. But instead of that, let's go and take
see
a phone
what the
call.
phone says. Yeah.
Let's say hi, caller. You're on with the MotorMouths.
Hey, gentlemen. How you doing, Christian?
Hey, Christian.
What's going on, man?
What's happening?
Yeah. When's she calling in today? What's the schedule?
Jeanette should be calling in about 8 or 9 minutes, about right after our 15-minute break.
Okay.
Yes, this should hold interest for you.
I'm still here out here, always listening. So yesterday I had the distinct pleasure of speaking with Johnny Jordan. I don't know if anyone knows Johnny Jordan, but he's also known as Johnny Quick. He used to be the engine builder for Spina.
Oh, okay.
We were just talking about some Nitro Harley stuff yesterday, and then I saw the email that she was calling in, so it's just ironic, but we were just speaking about when Bob used to run the Nitro Ironhead.
Oh, yeah, I used to go watch Bob all the time out of West Hampton.
Yeah, and, you know, talking with Johnny, you know, he used to build the motors for him before, even prior to Nitro Cycle when they were out there, but it was just crazy. Like, that was an Ironhead running on Nitro.
I know.
In the 6s back then.
You know, back then, and Bob Belfi, too, ran an Ironhead Sports. It wasn't Nitro bike, but, you know, he was cooking. He was in the 9s with that thing.
Yeah.
At about 120. Went through a fence once, too, but, you know, because, well, there was this little thing called a throttle returner. The actual cable came up and laid on the bracket, so you couldn't return the throttles before push-pull throttles. And
oops.
Yeah, went through a chain link fence at 120, but lived. Thank God, lived to survive it. But I would have loved to have you in the studio today, Christian, when Jeanette called, because you're the perfect guy. But
sorry.
Yeah,
but it's just, you know, it's pretty cool. It's still, I mean, for the years I was at the drag strip with Orient Express with all the, you know, 4-cylinder Nitro guys like Larry McBride, Corey Hogan, Chris Hand, all these, you know, big, huge fuelers that used to show up. There used to be a handful of Harleys all the time, and one of the guys I had the pleasure of being with at Indianapolis one year was Doug Vansel.
Oh, yeah.
And Doug Vansel is the rider for, it's a Nitro Harley. He rides for, I think, Drag Specialty, Vance and Hines, and I forget who else. But the most impressive thing about him was his wife.
Uh-huh.
She was all up in there, servicing that bike between runs all the time.
Wow.
She just always was right there, doing everything. She was all up in it. It was amazing. It was just the two of them.
Well, this is the cool thing.
Two-person crew.
You're going to find out that Janette is also a two-person crew. Her and her husband, she services the right side of the bike. He services the left.
Yes, that's what I noticed. There's always, he's probably all up in the throttle, with the intake or whatever. They're always setting that up and everything, and then there's the clutch, and there's a lot involved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one of my favorite, I don't think, he wasn't a Nitro rider, but Elmer Trett was one of my favorites back in the day.
That actually, Indianapolis race is named after Elmer Trett. That's the Elmer Trett Nationals they used to have out there. So, Elmer Trett was, huge. And
big guy, too.
All these guys, But just Long Island itself, you had Spina and you had
Wayne Loftain.
Yes.
Tattoo Wayne. I, too, did my piston tattoo.
When I worked for Custom Cycle, we sponsored Wayne, so we did have a Nitro bike in the shop,
Oh, yeah.
And that was back in the 80s. That's when they were running a lot in ACO back in the day.
Right.
Very interesting. Harley drags at ACO. It was always great to go to.
Yeah, I used to go there a lot. That was, not a lot, but enough. Yeah,
nothing more impressive than that sports, that Iron Head. And to this day, if you go over Johnny's garage there, I've been over there a few times because he still has a lot of parts and stuff. He still has a lot of pieces to that bike in his garage.
Okay.
Every once in a while, I used to spot something. I'd be like, "Hey, is that the fuel pump?" And I'm like, "Wow, yeah." He'd be like, "Yeah." Off that old Iron Head, man. I tell you, that thing was. Yeah. Those were the good old days, but for her, and for these people running the fuelers, there's nothing more impressive than keeping that alive, because that's what keeps these drag strips going when they have these events. It's all about that.
Yeah, and she runs and she's running in ADLR, I guess it is. There's not a lot of it's like Dina in the Pro Mod class. There's not a lot of runs per year. There's not a big schedule.
It's tough. It's expensive. It's a lot. It's a lot of work too, and it's important because through the years of drag racing, you probably go to an event, you would see at least 30 fuelers, and now it's like half that, if not.
Right.
By the time I was in AMA drag bike, we were lucky to see about 4 or 5, metric fuelers, and then a handful of Harleys.
Yeah.
But the Harleys were always out there.
Right. All right, Christian. I tell you what. Let me cut you so we can take a break and then get Janette in here. Awesome. And then we'll talk on the flip side.
You got it, sir.
All right, Christian. Thanks.
Guys.
Okay.
Take care.
So long.
Bye.
All right, fellas. We're going to take a first break. We'll take a quickie. Let's go back. Just because I like it so much, we'll do this, and then we'll come back and we'll be talking to Janette Thornley, I hope.
All right, we got a couple of honky-tonky drunks out there who requested this one. Guitar. Yeah, gotta be a Gibson. 2 Gibsons, that's even better.
Hi, this is Rita Monte. Would you like to take a trip to romantic Italy with me? Let's go together every Thursday with Profumi d'Italia. You will hear and savor Italy's soul with music from yesterday and today. Learn about Italy's museums, countryside, restaurants, festivals, and wineries. Most of all, you will learn about Italy's history and its people. Thursdays at 5 p.m., experience the essence of Italy on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC.
Hi, I'm Rob Leonard, host of Beatles Songs for the past 24 years right here on WHPC. Beatles Songs airs every Friday from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., playing the music of the Beatles together, apart, along with Beatle cover songs and songs the Beatles covered, along with songs the Beatle either guested on and or produced. And of course, we provide Beatle news. It's not the same show where they play the same 10 songs. So join me every Friday for Beatles Songs, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College, streaming at ncc.edu/WHPC.
All right, whether you like your tequila shaken, stirred, poured down your throat, thrown over your Ford Crown Victoria, or dropped into your toolbox, this is the place to get it on MotorMouth Radio. With
it makes
Ray.
a fine solvent as well as a beverage.
Yes, your host Ray Guarino with Joe D. and Mike Manning Jr. in with us today. We're talking about all sorts of stuff. We're going to see if we can get Janette on the phone.
A little troubleshooting, now we're going to have a little bike racing stuff.
Yes,
it's quite the varied card you've come up with today, Professor Ray.
Let's hope that. You know what? I'm going to see. I'm going to check now. I don't think I have Janette's number on my phone. I don't think I put it in here. Which is a problem because I was going to tell her.
I told you to stop using the pigeons.
I know.
You know,
but they're reliable.
Yeah, I know. They're probably more reliable than a cell phone sometimes.
You're
but
right.
The only thing is that if the pigeon doesn't come back with the number on his wing,
you're right.
Then you've got issues. You know what I'm saying? So
we're waiting for Janette. We'll have to wait because I don't have contact. So until then, we'll just do what we do. Let's. So Mike, tell us, you bought this Crown Vic. Why?
Yeah, tell us about the Crown Vic.
Good deal, and I always wanted one. I always